Hey Mbumba Clan, welcome back to our channel.
I'm Zinhle.
And I'm Usbusiso.
And we are
the Mlangenis.
Yes guys, if you are new to our channel, you do want to know of the one house rule, the Mlangeni house rule, and that is to
simply click subscribe and join the family. Sibe sonke, sibe yimbomba, sibe yinvoyinye.
Yes guys. And for our returning MCs guys, welcome back. So it's a new week and we are definitely doing the sit down with the Mlangenis. Yes guys, from the title of this video you can see that we are speaking about fears and frustrations in a relationship.
Yeah, I mean it's I know it's quite a widely open topic, you know, we can talk about it all day. You know what I mean? There's always different perspective onto what's frustrating to you, might not be frustrating to me, and all of that. And it's to just align, you know. Sometimes it's good to communicate that, hey man, you leaving your socks lying around is frustrating, you know. But at the same time, there's that factor of not sweating the small stuff, you know, and all that. So we're just trying to just strike a balance on how we see it and how we as a couple go through those things and how we communicate our frustrations and fears. And fear could be the fear of that my wife thinks that maybe in the long run we won't be financially stable, you know, are we working hard enough, you know, and I always tell her that my biggest fear is not being able to provide for my family and you know, be a man who can provide, you know, and how then do I work at it to make sure that the fear does not result into reality.
Yeah, and you know, like with frustrations, it's like when you're in a relationship at times, because obviously before you came into a relationship you were self, right? And when you started a relationship, I find that most of the time when we are still dating, we let a lot of things slip. When you're still dating, you know, a person could do this and it annoys you, it's fine, you don't live with me, I can go in my little corner, deal with it however way, like those frustrations.
There's that break. There's that break. Okay, I saw you for 4 hours.
It's fine.
Then you can go to your place.
I can deal.
You know, but when you stay together, it's a total different story.
It's a total different stories. And I know personally in our relationship, something that I've noticed over the years is that when we used to date, right, Sibu would let me get away with a lot of things. In a sense where he would be this person that is like, let's say we're not agreeing on something, and then I say, no, but I want it this way. And then he would just have me have my way, you know? And I was having my way for the longest time, you know. Not that I was not considerate of him at times, but most of the time, Sibu would not want to argue, talk about something and be like, okay, you know what? Have your ways in play. Happy wife, happy life, as they say, right? Then as time evolved, you know, now we're in a marriage. Now even the things that have your way, they're different, because it could have been have your way with the restaurant or whatever. Now it's big family decisions where Sibu is like, let's go home for the weekend, or it's the holidays, let's go home from Wednesday to Sunday. And I'm just like, no, why must we go to your home place or my hometown from Wednesday to Sunday? Let's go on Friday. Then there's just that little frustration, and Sibu now is just not the person that says no, Zinhle, have your way. He is like, we are going the Wednesday.
No, you see, the thing is, you know, as you grow, you realize that certain things will compromise the relationship. You know, and I had to then find that adjustment and say, okay, you know what, this is starting to frustrate me, and if I'm gonna continue this way, I'm gonna be that person who's gonna be like, hey, whatever man, even though that thing doesn't make me happy, I'm gonna be the whatever man person, just for the sake of happy life, happy wife. And I mean, happy wife, happy life. At the same time, you need a happy husband to have a happy life as well. You know, you need to strike a balance. You know, there's a lot of misalignment that happens, and we focus on one person and we forget the other. And we all have feelings. We all feel. We all fear. We all have frustration, and it's the way of communicating them. You know, I mean, if I would ask you, what are your fears, and how do you then communicate your fears to me? You know, I need to be understanding and open to listening and understanding that, okay, my wife is fearful of this and this and that. I should not then make her fears to become a reality. I should protect, because the Bible says we need to protect.
Yeah, love is to protect.
Yeah, love is to protect. So if I love my wife, I need to protect her and protect her from her fears and make her less frustrated as possible.
Yeah, and I think it's also like when you are in a disagreement is to always stand firm to your grounds, because I feel like the whatever comes where you just like, okay, I think I'm over this, so have your way, but not having, because when you're a whatever guy, I'll never know the true essence and true, like your true feeling towards something if I'm gonna be like, oh, I still got it, you need, like, even though you just like, okay, we're going with this decision, understand what it took from the other person. And when you voice out your frustrations, it must not be swept under the carpet, or it's like your reasoning is irrational. We must always try, if you know you're that person that is just like yeah, when you're not thinking in that moment, rather not make a decision that day, but step back a bit and like think about it, think why Sibu is saying this. Maybe it's not important to me that we leave the Wednesday, but it's important to him because he feels like more time with the family, as much as my thing is just like, no, I want to be in the comfort of my own home, I just want to be in and out when we're going somewhere. But like, whereas Sibu's value for family besides me is to spend time with the families, so it's very important to relay your frustrations and for your partner to actually not just listen but hear them and understand. Even though we're not gonna go with it this time, I definitely know like next time that, okay, I know he's gonna say Wednesday, and shame, I get where he's coming from. So because relationships are about compromise. We need to compromise in relationships. It's not just a one person's relationship, because when you let it go for too long, the day you say no, I'm gonna feel like
it's a shock.
It's just a shock that what's happening?
Saying what you said. I just realized that, well, it's not a realization, I mean, it's a fact, and it's an obvious fact that in a relationship you need to be selfless. I know there's this thing of put yourself first, love yourself, happiness, self-care and all of that. But in a relationship you need to be selfless. You need to be selfless about, you need to ask yourself, how would it make her feel? If she's saying, yes, let's go on a Friday, and I push her that we must go on a Wednesday, how does that make her feel? Is it a compromise that's within her tolerance, or it's above her tolerance? You know what I mean? And like I said, also there's those small things that we need not to sweat. There's small things. They always say that don't sweat the small things. If she's frustrated by my soxies that I leave them lying around, she can pick them up and put them in the washing basket.
You can say no.
If I'm frustrated, you can say, Nami, I need to be away. As much as it's a small thing, I need to be away and make sure that I meet her halfway. I at least put them in the bedroom and not in the lounge. Leave them
on top of the laundry basket, not inside. Okay, that I can work with. I can just not walk in and I'm just like, because other things, guys, it's like little habits won't just go away. Like Simu has this habit of like, he hates summer for good reason. Shame, poor guy sweats. He just doesn't love it. So whenever we're sitting in the lounge, he will take off his shirts, right? T-shirts. He'll take off his t-shirts. We're watching TV and stuff, whatever. We go to bed. Guy leaves the t-shirt there all the time, if not most of the time.
But I come back the next morning and pick it up.
The next morning. So, and then I'm just like, Sibu, take your t-shirt, And then for the first 2 days, Sibu, when we go sleep, he will take the t-shirts to the bedroom. But it's like, that's the not sweating the small stuff, because sometimes I just come into the room and then I see the t-shirt, I pick it up and stuff. But I've voiced out my frustrations and he sees that when I'm carrying, sometimes I just take the t-shirt, make sure I'm this side so that he can see that I have the t-shirt in the hand, and then go to the bedroom so that it clicks that, oh, okay, I left my t-shirts. But like, the whole purpose that we wanted to speak about frustrations, whatever it may be, guys, is that never grow tired of communicating your frustrations with your person, but also the approach on how you say, I can't just say, pick up your socks, like with that tone. He's gonna be defensive and he's gonna wanna fight me over that. But sometimes find the time and the how to tell him that, okay, I picked up your socks, but I really don't like it when you leave them like lying around, so that your partner understands where you are coming from. Because when now you're speaking from a point of like, now you're already angry, you would seem as though you are irrational. Oh my gosh, why is this a big deal? But for your person to really understand your frustrations and where they're coming from and what it's taking out of you, but also for you being selfless, as my husband said.
And I can easily say it's just socks.
Yeah.
But it's not such a big deal.
Yeah.
It's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and also it's the fears. I know we face different fears.
Yeah.
Communicate, say, you know what, I'm scared that, you know, I have this fear of, you know, say them, you know, to your partners and understand that, you know, you spend a lot of time doing this and this and that, and I'm fearful that we don't spend a lot of time together, and that, you know, you know, can draw us apart. You know, all those things we need to communicate and say, "Uthi sithando sami yabona lana, akusahambi kahle." You know what I mean? Just. And always, it boils down to communication.
Yeah, because like how my husband shared his one fear, that he fears not being able to provide. My one fear is for us being broke and like not have money. Like go to the next month and there's like 50 rand left. Like I you know that. Yeah, we are in faith, we live in faith, we walk in faith. With those fears, it's not like, and fear can be crippling on certain things. I know with me not wanting us to be broke, I even get to a point where when Sibu wants to spend on whatever, I'm like, no, it makes no sense that you want us to buy this and stuff. And I always have my reasons that, okay, we would rather whatever, but like one of my fears is that for us never to have enough, never to be broke. So that, and I always tell him that, you know, my point, and like when we'd be arguing, and then I always say, Scott, do you know that my point of thinking comes from where I would rather have us have a balance of 1,000 rand than us going to a balance of 500 rand. So whenever I'm deciding things, it's always that it must not go down below 1,000 rand, for example. And then he'd be like, oh, you must live a little, because Sibu is very like, you must live a little, we'll make it again. And I need to also understand that it must not take away from us enjoying our life. It must not take away. So I need to understand why he says we must do that. And also it's nice because I married a guy with a plan. He's like, okay, let's take away, but we'll make a way of getting the money back. And then that makes me feel at ease, because
and God makes the way.
And God makes the way like all the time.
You touched on faith, and for me that stood out, you know. And we need to be practical about faith. You know, if we all have fears, but for our fears to be
not crippling.
We need to have faith, but we need to be practical with our faith. We need to do the things that make the pots to be done.
Yeah.
You know, I'm fearful that I might not be able to provide.
What are you doing about it?
You know, am I working hard? Am I putting in the time?
Yeah.
Am I, you know, making plans to get other streams of income and all of that? You know, I have fear that my wife might not be faithful to me. Do I love her enough? Do I give her all the attention that she needs? Do I give her the time that she needs?
Do I communicate my insecurities? Do
I feel as secure in the relationship or in the marriage? You know what I mean? So we need to be practical about it. For us to fully walk in faith, you need to practice and not just say it. You know, it begins with speaking it into existence, but sometimes you need to walk it, you know, and work it into existence.
God will always meet you at your point of need. God will always meet you. Like when you work, definitely He will see you right through, you know. And also that was my thing with this year, when you're having goals, what are you doing about your goals? I can't be sitting and saying, I want a business, but there's no action plan, you know. And even that action plan, that working towards something, it's your faith. You have faith that when I do this, this is what's gonna come of it. I don't want us to be broke. Sibu says let's eat an extra 300 rand, and he's like, this is the plan, this is what I'm gonna do, because he has faith that definitely we're gonna get that 300 rand. And when we get that 300 rand and we're back at 1,000, he's like, what did I tell you? And I'm like, now I know how to trust you next time when you're like, oh, let's eat a little bit and stuff. I mean? So, you know, when you voice out your frustration, when you voice out your fears, your partner understanding where you come from, different ballgame.
Yeah, I mean, just the last point I want to make just before we wrap up.
Yeah.
You know, when Christ fed over 5,000, people, you know. He asked, what do we have? And they said they only have two loaves and 5 fishes.
Yeah.
And 5 fish. And at that moment, Christ knew that by faith, this will feed everyone.
Yes.
He worked it. He worked it. He took what he had and he worked it. You know, he made it practical. He didn't say, "Oh, Father, multiply it now when it's still in the basket." You know, he multiplied it now.
Yes, he just gave
thanks and broke the bread and distributed. You know what I mean? And
there were even leftovers.
Yeah.
That's
so
what
sometimes
happens.
you need to work it into existence and not just have faith.
Yeah,
man.
So guys, we just wanted to speak about your fears and frustrations and how you communicated in a relationship with the points of understanding when you're voicing it, your partner to also not just listen but to hear where you're coming from. So comment down below what were some frustration moments that you had that you feel that your partner was not understanding, and did you take another step in how a different approach, you know, not every it's not what every stroke, different strokes for different folks.
Yes,
so it can be different how Sibu understands it in this way, and then did you try other means for him to understand? So this week we just wanted to speak about that, guys, and you can share below, drop us a little comment there, share this video with your loved ones, let us get talking, let us speak all things relationship, because we want it to work. This is us working it.
Definitely.
We are working it.
Definitely changing the narrative, guys. Thank you so much for joining us and liking and posting and commenting. Without you,
there's no Mbumba Clan, guys.
So afraid to enjoy the rest of the week.
Bye.
Bye.